We have already reached week 7 of the NFL season, so it's time to get into my selections for this week. But of course, we have to look back at how I did in week 6. Now, we had a disastrous week 5. We did, and I had to recover from what I did in week 5. So this was week 6. Not too bad. 6 losses, I'll take that. A winning record, though, this time around, definitely will take that. Horrendous, though, on primetime. I mean, Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football, both of them, Sunday Night even, like, just off, horrible picks. But on Sunday, during the day, only 2 losses. So I will definitely take that. I'll take that as a positive going into this week. So without further ado, let's get into those picks. And we start with the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bengals wearing their all-white uniforms for this one in the Icy Hot Bowl between Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. 2 vets going at it. The Steelers, they're coming off a victory last week against the Browns. The Bengals had a rough outing against the Packers. Joe Flacco, now that he is going to have his second game with the Bengals, it might go a bit better than how it did last week. The Steelers team is not as strong as that Packers team. I think we all know that. But their offense is still not there. And especially defensively, they're already wounded. Trey Hendrickson might not even play. He's listed as questionable for Thursday. I think the Steelers offense is going to have a really easy time getting down the field in this one. And that's kind of what I see. It just comes down to if their defense can tackle the Bengals offense, which again with Joe Flacco isn't as strong as it would be with Joe Burrow, but it has a more competent quarterback there now. So to be honest with you, even though the Bengals did look better last week against the Packers, I do believe still that they're just not there yet, or they just aren't there to where they want to be. And I think the Steelers just have the overall healthier team, the overall better team into this one. So I'm taking the Steelers on Thursday night. And we kick off Sunday once again back in London for another international game. And this one's between the Los Angeles Rams and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Rams coming off a good victory against the Ravens. They probably could have done better than what they should have. The Jaguars lost to the Seahawks. They got absolutely destroyed by the Seahawks offense. They had lots of trouble defensively and especially a bit of miscues on offense compared to how they did against the Chiefs the week before. This one, I think a lot of people are calling it closer than what it should be. And the reason for that is because of Puka Nacua's injury. He's listed as day-to-day. We don't really know if he is going to play. It does not seem likely, though. It really does not. They list him as day-to-day, but he might just have to have the week off. And that's what it's looking like. I could be wrong. Come Sunday, he might be able to play. Who knows? Even with Puka out, the Rams still have a very solid defense. And they upset a lot of good offenses, even with how the Jaguars offense has been running recently. I think still, even with Matt Stafford there, even with Kyron Williams there, I think the Rams still probably have this in locks here. I think it will be a close game overall, but I'm still going to say that the Rams will take this one in London. Then the 1 o'clock window opens with the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are coming off that loss to the New York Giants, which was really upsetting to a lot of Philadelphia fans. Even though they have started out this year really good, that loss was not appreciative for the fans at all. The Vikings are coming off their bye week after playing in Europe. I want to see, though, how this defense does against the Eagles offense. That has been a really touch and go this year. And the question for the Eagles here is, will they be able to get the majority of their offense going? Because a lot of their offense right now is through Hurts and through Barkley. A.J. Brown has been really, iffy. Devontae Smith, same thing. There's been lots of rumors going around with their offense. What's happening? What are the players thinking? What do they want? What's happening there, really? But in my mind, I think to beat this Vikings defense, which has been known to be solid, I think they have to work together, and I think we will see that on Sunday. So I know I'm picking them again, but I'm going to have to go with the Eagles. I don't know what Eagles fans would think about that, but I'm taking the Eagles to beat the Vikings. Next, we got the Patriots in Nashville taking on the Titans. Mike McCoy will get his first game as interim head coach for the Titans. How much will that change? I don't really know, and I don't think it will change too much. Obviously, Callahan was not the guy for Tennessee, and it obviously showed. Yes, they got a win, but it was a lucky win, especially against the Cardinals. But with this Patriots team that has looked fantastic, especially their quarterback, Drake May, has looked brilliant over the last couple of weeks. This one will be a really tough one for the Titans to win, just in general. Even with their brand new coach, even with the possible changes that they could make, I still don't believe that this game will go the Titans' way. I think the Pats, just how they've been rolling recently, I think they're in good spot, especially playing with this Titans team. So I'm going to take them to win this game. And now we got the Carolina Panthers taking on the New York Jets. The Jets looked horrible. They looked horrible last week. They really did. They really looked horrible in London, and now they've come home and they're playing a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. I don't like this decision by the Jets, considering obviously how bad the season has gone already. I don't think it's going to be a good one at all. This game, I'm calling it. The Panthers are going to win. The Jets, I don't even have to say anything about the Jets. They looked horrible against Denver. I don't think it will be anything different here against the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers to beat the Jets. Now we hit to Cleveland, where the Browns are taking on the Miami Dolphins. This game, whoa. For some reason, the Browns are the favorite, and I can understand that. But the Browns offense, it's growing a bit, but I don't believe it's at a point where they can outmatch Miami. Now, yes, that Browns defense, I always talk about that Browns defense, but it's always come up short every week I talk about. But Miami's offense has kind of been there. And I think the reason the Browns are the favorites in this game is because Miami's defense is absolutely horrid. And I believe that they're kind of expecting the Browns offense to be better than the Miami defense, which I believe that will be the case anyways. But judging by how many points Miami scores already in these games, I feel like they will just still outscore Miami, or this game is going to end with a field goal victory for the Browns, in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm actually going to take Miami on this one. I think they will outmatch the Browns overall. Their defense just has to hold on a little bit, and I think they can do that. It looks like they can do that. They've been close twice in the last 2 weeks, and I think they will this time against the Browns. Now we got the New Orleans Saints in Chicago taking on the Bears. The Bears coming off that big Monday night win against the Commanders. It was also a very big game for their defense, right? They had a few fumbles and an interception was thrown into there. I think this will also just continue into this week. I mean, the Saints are the Saints, and I think we all agree the Saints are the Saints. And I think the Chicago defense will take another big step here against the Saints, especially coming off that win against the Commanders. The offense as well looked very good. Caleb Williams, spectacular this year. He's been spectacular. Plain and simple. No one can disagree with that. And I think he will also demolish the Saints defense on his side of things. I'm taking the Bears, plain and simple. And our final 1 o'clock game is the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs with that win over Detroit to finally get back to 500 on the year. Who would have thought that? Me saying that, the Chiefs are 500. I mean, I probably said a few weeks ago, who would have thought the Chiefs have a losing record? But they do. They're going to get over 500. I mean, Las Vegas is nowhere near the Chiefs, and how the Chiefs have been rolling the last couple of weeks. It's just going to continue here against the awful Raiders defense that has just plagued their team all year. Offensively, too, I mean, Ashton Ginty has looked a bit better over the last couple of weeks for the Raiders, but it still won't be enough against that Chiefs defense. Like I said earlier, it's just going to be a Chiefs win, and that's all I have to say about that one. And to start off our 4 o'clock games, we're going to go to LA, where the Chargers are taking on the Colts. And yes, you see there the yellow for the Chargers. I changed it up this time because the Chargers are wearing an all yellow uniform. Yes, you heard me right. The Colts still have that high with Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor going crazy over the last couple of weeks. Yes, they have a couple of losses sprinkled in there, but they're still very strong. The Chargers, they're coming off that win against the Dolphins on Sunday with the last second field goal made by Cameron Dicker. One of the big question marks still for the Chargers this week is Quentin Johnston. Will he play? Obviously, he had that hamstring injury late into the week before the game against Miami. He looks like he will practice throughout this week. It looks like he will, so we'll see where he's at come Sunday. But if he does play, that will be a big boost for that Chargers offense, who probably needed him a bit in that game against Miami. But if I'm going to pick a team in this game, it is going to have to be my Chargers. Come on now. I have to pick my Chargers. They are the home team. I know that doesn't mean much for LA, but I think they will have the stronger team. If Quentin Johnston plays, they will definitely win this game, in my opinion. I'm picking the Chargers. Then we move to the Chargers division rival, the Denver Broncos. They are hosting the New York Giants. The Giants having that long break between last week's Thursday game, between this Sunday. This one is going to be interesting, and I'm surprised how much of a favorite the Broncos are. Now, the Broncos defense, we know how they work, we know how they function. They did fantastic last week against the Jets, but that is the Jets. The Giants, however, played brilliantly against the Eagles offensively. They were fantastic. Cam Scatterboo has been a revelation for the team. Jackson Dart has been a revelation for the team. How will they do, though, against a really solid defense in the Denver Broncos? I'm interested to see that. My question mark goal for this game is the Denver offense. Last week against the Jets, they looked stiff. Now, that could just be them going across the pond, time change, all that. That can just be that. I don't know. Will that be a big factor here again in this game? We'll see. But if I'm going to say here that their defense is going to be solid against this Giants offense, they will have to be to win this game. And I think that will kind of happen, especially at home in Denver. So I'm going to take the Broncos to win this one. Our second last game on Sunday afternoon goes to the Green Bay Packers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I think we already know who I'm picking in this game. I think I already know who a lot of you are picking in this game. Of course, Kyler Murray being out did not help the Cardinals' case last week. It's still up for debate if he will play this week anyways. It's a Packers game for me. Defensively, they will destroy the Cardinals. Offensively, they will destroy that Cardinals defense. The Cardinals have been almost a non-existent team this year at all. And to my surprise, to be honest with you, do I think they would have had a chance in this game anyways? No, but they have just been shocking. And for that, I don't believe they have any chance against the Packers. Go Pack, go. And we end the afternoon with a division matchup between the Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are coming off that loss against the Panthers. And that's heartbreaking for that team. It really is. And I mean, the Commanders also had a really tough loss against the Bears as well on Monday night. I do believe this is going to be one of the highest scoring games we will see all year. And it looks to be like that, betting wise, if you are one of those types of people. If you like to bet, maybe the over might be for you in this game. And it's set at I think the highest point we've seen all year. I saw that earlier this week. I don't really know if that's true or not. But nonetheless, these two teams have really weak defenses, but really high-powered offenses. I can kind of see this game being somewhere like that Giants-Cowboys game earlier this year that we saw. So I think that will be the case, and I could see that happening, especially with how these two teams run. But if I had to pick a team that's going to win this game, I'm actually going to pick the Commanders on the road at Jerry World to win this one. Then we move on to Sunday Night Football with the Atlanta Falcons getting back-to-back weeks of primetime football, but this time around they are taking on the San Francisco 49ers on the West Coast. The San Francisco 49ers should be getting a few bodies back. George Kittle, Brock Purdy should be able to go come Sunday night. That will be a big boost for the 49ers, who have been injured massively all year. They just lost Fred Warner defensively. They as well lost Nick Bosa. Defensively, the 49ers are far from where they were. Offensively, though, they're kind of getting a boost right with those bodies back. The Falcons' defense has been nothing special all year, although they did a really good job against Josh Allen and the Bills last week. They still have a couple of miscues offensively, and I think if they're able to sort those things out, I think they will be a solid team. I think they can still be a solid team in this league. But going out to the West Coast, playing this game on Sunday night, if the 49ers are able to get their personnel back, their starters back, their big names back, I think they will win this game, and it's looking like that. So I'm going to take the 49ers to win on Sunday night. And once again, we have two games on Monday night. You already know what I think about it. Let's start with the Detroit Lions facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Lions going in all black for Monday night. Detroit coming off that tough loss to the Chiefs. The Bucs coming off that big win over the 49ers, even though they have no one left to play receiver, to be honest. And it doesn't look like that will be the case this week against the Lions, whose defense, minus brawling other teams, have been pretty good all year. Offensively, they looked very solid. I want to know how that offense will play against the Bucs defense. I want to know what this game might look like. I'm kind of interested to see what it will. Defensively, though, I think the Lions will have this one in the bag. Baker Mayfield doesn't have much to work with besides maybe running the ball, but we have seen Baker Mayfield do some crazy stuff. So this game will either be Lions all the way, or Baker Mayfield will be able to scuff out a surprise victory. And if I'm going to pick one of those, though, I'm picking the Lions. I think they just have a much more healthier team to go into this game, and I think they'll get the win pretty easily. And to wrap it up, on Monday, we have the Seattle Seahawks hosting the Houston Texans. The Texans coming off their bye week. They've been so recently before their bye week. Seahawks, though, have looked fantastic. I mean, Darnold and JSN have looked brilliant over the last couple of weeks, and I could see that continuing this time around, especially with that Texans defense that has not looked pretty to start this season. So you kind of see where my thought process is going here, and especially with the game being at Lumen Field, the Seahawks will have a big boost and a big part of home field advantage towards them, and that's why I believe they will win Monday Night Football. So there you have it, everyone. Those are my selections for Week 7 of this year's NFL season. If you liked my picks, if you didn't like my picks, let me know down in the comments below what you thought about them. Also, please leave a like on the video if you have not yet, and subscribe to the Zucc TV channel for more NFL content just like this. Also, click the bell if you haven't yet to be reminded of when I post these weekly pick videos, because I'm doing them all season long. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the football this weekend. Peace.